afternoon, everybody. We will start with some housekeeping. So we'll start with the broadcast section that's got no embargo, followed by an embargoed section. No live tweeting during the broadcast section. And as always, we'll start with team news from Sky, followed by a maximum of 2 questions per journalist to try and get through as many as we can in the time we have. Paul?
Hey.
Antonio, for many Tottenham fans, for all Tottenham fans, the thought of Arsenal securing Champions League football at the expense of Tottenham in your stadium will be unbearable, unthinkable. How would you sum up the importance of this game on behalf of you and the players?
We are talking about an important game for many different situations. And the first, I think, the most important thing that we are playing this game for an important target and a place in Champions League. I think that this has to be the first thing to try to win this game. And for sure, I know very well the importance of for our fans about this derby, North London derby, and this is the first time that Tottenham is playing this game in their own stadium and with the people. We know this, but at the same time, I think that my players, I continue to tell that we have to enjoy this moment because to arrive and 2 games to go with an important target to play an important target like a place like Champions League, it means that we are doing a good job. The job has not finished, and we have to try to get 3 points. To get 3 points tomorrow against Arsenal. It won't be easy because we are talking about a really good team, a well-organized team. Arteta, I think, is doing a really good job and is managing. Is in charge for 2 years and a half, maybe, and he had the possibility to work to improve his team. But at the same time, to stay in this position for us at this moment of the season has to give us a big push, and to try to get 3 points on Thursday.
Have you got any fresh injury concerns ahead of this game, or any players returning from injury?
No, the situation is the same of the last game, the game before Liverpool. Reguilón is not available, and but I don't think he can recover. There is only 10 days to go, and we are with the same players that we faced Liverpool.
You've been getting results, but not everyone's been happy with performances. What did you make of Jurgen Klopp's comments about your team's performance at Anfield? And also Pep Guardiola says everyone wants Liverpool to win the league. Who do you want to win the league?
Yeah, but who know me, and know very well that I want to win. I want to win every game, and I try to transfer this my thought to my players. And for sure, when I stay in one team, when in a club, my aspiration, my desire to fight to win the title. And to win the league in England is not simple, it's not easy, and Guardiola said that Liverpool won 1 league in 30 years, maybe, and it shows that it's not simple. Maybe sometimes it's easier to win Champions League or UEFA League or other competition than to win the league in England, because in England you have to face really monsters, okay? But then after the game against Liverpool, the good answer that I had and was that my players were disappointed at the end of the game, and because they felt the possibility to win the game, and we analyzed the game the day after, and for sure, if there was a team that deserved to win and the chance created to win, was Tottenham and not Liverpool. I think in this game, Liverpool, I think also Klopp understood that he gained 1 point, not lost 2 points. At the same time, I think Jurgen is an intelligent person. He's very clever. He was a bit frustrated after the game. But at the same time, I think that for us, for a top coach, but for every coach, it's important to learn that after the game, it's important to be focused on your team and not your opponent. Because if you are focused on your opponent, it means that you want to find an excuse or an alibi because your job didn't well or something was wrong.
Thanks, Paul. Yeah. Roger?
Hi again, Antonio.
Yep.
This match was going to be played in January. At the time when it was postponed, you said the situation was a big mess. You thought it was strange that it had been postponed. Now it's being played now. Do you feel Arsenal have benefited from the fact that that match was cancelled then? Because they had a few selection issues at the time.
Yeah, but to speak now about what happened in the past, I think that is not useful. It's not useful. For sure, was very strange that our game was postponed for COVID, and Arsenal didn't have one player with COVID. I think COVID. We lost a game 3-0, and because Premier League didn't want to move our game when we had 10 players with the COVID. Yeah, I think that at that time was unfair what happened at that time. But now this is the past, and we have to be focused on the present, and to try to get the best result. And I think that this could be a good chance for us to get 3 points against the whole team, because if we played in January, maybe they were without many players because they were committed in Africa Cup, no? And injuries, and yeah, I think football is wonderful. Also, this type of game is right to play with the two teams, with all the players available. Yeah.
You talked before about your desire to always be winning, to be challenging for titles and so on. If you were to miss out on the Champions League, would you consider it a failure, even though the team was struggling when you arrived, but having put the team in contention, if you didn't make top 4, would you personally consider it a failure?
But personally, and in my mind, when I decided to be in charge with Tottenham, I knew very well at that time which situation was in front of me, because the team was maybe ninth in the table, no, and only 15 points, but in these 15 points, 9 points in the first 3 games, and then only 6 points in the rest of 7 games. I knew very well that the situation wasn't good, and only a crazy at that moment can imagine that with the 2 games to go, now we are in the race for a place in Champions League. The club didn't ask me, we are appointing you to go for a place in Champions League or for a place in UEFA. I think they appointed me to try to improve the situation, and now I think that we have to be proud that after a difficult season in many aspects for the club, we are in this race, and in my opinion, in my mind, is always a failure when I don't win, and because I'm used to try to fight for something important, to try to to have a chance, to compete with other team for to win trophy, to win a title, and but. When I arrived in Tottenham, and I was sure that it was very, very difficult, no, the situation. But I tried to improve. I worked. I worked very hard with my staff, with the players, to improve the team and to create something, to create a base, and I think that we did this. Yeah.
Thanks, Roger. Ali?
You mentioned there about Jurgen Klopp and how his experience, his intelligence. So, did it surprise you when you heard his comment at the start of the match?
But honestly, and for the coach, it's not simple. It's not easy. And after the game, and you have to try to keep your head cool, no? And sometimes it's not simple. It's not easy, and many times. If you remember, also in this season happened, no? That when I was disappointed for a bad result, and I was disappointed with myself, with my players, and not when we lost against Barley, and if you remember, I gave to myself, no, the fault about the defeat, about and sometimes we are a bit frustrated, especially when you arrive at the end, of the season, and you understand that a bad result, a bad game, can change an important target for you. And but I repeat, and I have great respect for Jurgen, and I know that he respects me a lot, and this is a good chance for him, for me also, for all the coaches to understand and to learn that during the game, and you never has to speak about your opponent. It's important to be focused on your team in the situation that maybe you could do better, and to speak about, I repeat, about your problems.
You've said in the past that kind of he just needed to believe in himself and get that confidence, and now you've seen him have big performances against Liverpool twice, Manchester City. He's clearly a big game player. Can you see he's starting to believe in himself again?
But Ryan is a player that he has great potentiality, and physically he's really strong, and it's very difficult to beat him in 1v1. Defensively, I think also he reached an important level because he showed to great attention during the game, and in every game that he played, he showed this. For sure, he has to improve when we have the ball, and because the wing backs for me are very, very important. And against Liverpool, we had a situation that the last pass, and if we I think that we can improve. We can improve in this aspect. And Ryan is a young player, and is having a good performance. This type of performance has to give him confidence, to believe in himself. Because I repeat, we are talking about a young player with great space for improvement. I hope that in the past injuries stopped his growth, but now he's in a good form, and he's playing very well, and I'm happy for him because he's a really good guy, and he works very hard.
Okay, we'll go Charlie and then finish with Jonathan, please.
From when the game was meant to be played back in January, what do you think is the biggest thing that's changed about your team now
I think that now we are a team with more organization under tactical aspect, under physical aspect, and now for sure this team has more football knowledges. And at that time, I arrived in November, and after only 1 month and a half, we tried to give a lot of information to the players, but you know very well, you need to have a process with your players to understand your football, to understand what you want to improve the mentality, also the physical aspect. I think that we had time to improve and to be a team stronger now than the past. Yes.
How close then are this team to where you want them to be?
It depends. It depends of of the target. It depends of the target, and because I have only to tell thanks to my players because these 7 months they show me great commitment, great behavior, to be involved 120% in every things that I gave them, and for this reason I repeat, and I have to tell thanks to them. And if now we are in this position and we have the possibility to fight for a place in Champions League, it means that the players improved a lot, and they made an important step forward. But for sure, and there are space for improvement, but you have to know for which target you have to play.
Thanks, Charlie. Johnny?
Hi.
So after the game on Thursday, you played again on Sunday at 12 o'clock. That's obviously a very quick turnaround. Do you have any complaints at that schedule?
Yeah, but if I complain and then I did the same like other coaches in the past, you understand? And if you remember, when Arteta complained, about this type of situation, I said that it's not right. Now could be my turn to complain, because to play on Thursday and then to play on Sunday, the first game, because I repeat, and you could play also Sunday, but wait and put the last game, and to give us a bit of rest more. But sometimes it's very difficult to understand Premier League decision. But if the club accept this type of decision, I have to accept this type of decision. And but for sure, a top club has to pay great attention to the fixtures, because before to play the game, you don't think that this type of situation can bring you in trouble. After the game, when you realize that maybe this situation could be affect the result, you are angry, but it's late. You have to be angry before, and I think in this aspect the club has to pay more attention on this aspect. I repeat, this is not but if you want to repeat, you want to win, and you have to take care about every details, because the details move the final result.
Thanks, Johnny. Okay, we'll end the broadcast section there. We'll start with a 12 p.m. embargo for Wednesday.
What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for some more preview shows, but not any preview show today. It is the big one, the North London derby at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, the one that we've been waiting for so long, seeing as Arsenal did that runner, was it in January? They didn't show up for the game. They cancelled it with, Conte was saying in his press conference that they didn't have one COVID case at the time. That's what he said in his press conference. Do you reckon they'll turn up this time?
Well, they better turn up, otherwise they're not getting top four. They got to take it off us if they're going to have to earn it. And look, it's a massive game tomorrow. North London derbies don't get much bigger than tomorrow. There's so much riding on it from both sets of fans. Part of me is very excited. Full capacity crowd for the first time in the new stadium in the North London derby. It should be rocking. There's going to be a massive tifo in the South Stand. Tottenham have announced as well, so the atmosphere should be banging. We've got a massive chance to we'll get to within a point of them with two. They got two tough games coming after they play us, albeit it's still going to be in their hands, but hopefully their confidence will be rocked with the defeat at Tottenham. On the other hand, part of me is like, they do have a chance to mathematically seal it tomorrow, and that just the fact that they have that opportunity does scare me a bit, because you just know that however whatever percentage you want to put it, there is a percentage of football that's down to luck, and you just have to accept that. And will they get lucky tomorrow? They've been getting lucky recently a lot, and so it does worry me a bit that luck could be on their side.
How long can this luck go on for? How long? Surely we can't be gifting Nketiah goals. I mean, Lloris ain't going to be tackled on his line. I mean, surely we won't play like
I wouldn't bet against Lloris not getting tackled on his line.
You wouldn't?
The way he plays out the back, you know what I mean?
Well, but still, I mean, when's the last time he got tackled on his line?
Not that long ago. Was it Southampton?
Was it Southampton? Oh,
yeah, I remember that.
Like, look, they can't just keep getting as lucky as they've been getting. They just can't. Surely their luck has to run out at some point. It has to. And this game is going to be a cauldron for them. The fans are going to be in full voice. I mean, the amount of calls to action I've seen on Twitter from Spurs fans being like, we got to be singing for 90 minutes. We got to make it a cauldron of hate for these guys. And that's exactly right. Every fan needs to do their part tomorrow.
We need to get in there early. Everyone leave work early. You need to get down to the Tottenham.
There's no work tomorrow, people. There's no work. It's
get your
North London
sickies
derby day.
Exactly. If there's one day to pull a sickie,
no
it's tomorrow.
No work, no school. Get into that stadium early. Get your drinks. If you don't drink, just get into that stadium and get your lungs ready and sing your hearts out for the lads tomorrow.
We need a feisty reception for the Arsenal team bus. We need to make sure that they're in it in a game tomorrow.
We need to make it like one of those old school days at White Hart Lane when Arsenal used to come to town, wait for the team bus, give them that aggressive kind of welcome, and don't stop singing. Literally, do not stop singing. If we go 1-0 down, don't stop singing. Like, what I admired so much about the Liverpool fans, when they went 1-0 down at Anfield, the first thing you heard was Liverpool fans singing. And I thought that was a great thing. And I think that we need to do that. Even if we go 1-0 down, don't lose hope and keep singing, keep supporting the boys all the way right till the end.
We need to make it an atmosphere tomorrow where Arsenal don't feel comfortable. You know, every time an Arsenal player goes over a throw, we need the fans to be on top of them. Every time when the team bus comes in, we need to make sure that they don't want to be there. They want to leave as soon as possible. That's all we got to make sure happens tomorrow.
I want to hear boos, whistles, jeers every time an Arsenal player touches that ball tomorrow.
You know that famous moment where Pires gets the ball and he gets it chucked in his face. I want to see some of that. You know what I mean? I want to see some feistiness. Exactly.
And, if we do get under their skin, they've got players that are not that experienced. Gabriel, if you get under his skin, he can do something that can harm them. Xhaka as well, if you get under his skin, he could do something that can harm them. So they do have players in that team that you actually can get under their skin.
And I think they've got a young team that could potentially buckle under the pressure. I think we've seen it before this season at times. I think, obviously, look, to be fair to them, recently they've been quite good at seeing out results, but I don't think they're gonna come up against a team or a fan base as of tomorrow, which means that much. I think the teams and the games they've played recently, their opponents have been, let's say, willing opponents. Chelsea didn't have much to play for. United, the season was over. West Ham, they had other priorities. You know what I mean? So now they're coming away to Spurs in a game which means everything for us. Not just the rivalry, but also the league as well in terms of the position. There couldn't be much more riding on it. So now we're going to see what they're made of, and we're going to stretch every ounce of courage they have And if they don't have enough, we're going to come out victors. In terms of the game, I think the fact that Arsenal only need a draw tomorrow, in a way, could play into our hands. I think where it's detrimental is going into the last 20 minutes or so for the game's level. I can see going into the last 20 minutes or so. If the game's level, then I can see Arsenal just settling for the draw, sitting back a bit, and maybe denying us space. They've been quite good at seeing out results recently in the last 20 minutes of games. But on the flip side, I do think they might start the game with a bit of uncertainty. Do they go right for it? Are they sitting back for the whole game? Are they parking the bus? Whereas we're going to be going at it from the first whistle. We know exactly what we need to do. We need to win this game.
What do you think they will do? How do you think they will set up? Do you think they will start and park the bus 5 at the back and try and stifle us from the beginning?
I don't think they will. I think they're going to be a bit brave tomorrow because they know as well, although a draw's good enough, they know that even if they do lose, they still got a 1-point advantage. So I reckon Arteta's going to be a bit arrogant. He's going to go for the win.
I hope so.
That's what I think he is going to do.
I hope so.
That's my prediction. I think he's going to go and try and come at us and be bold and be brave. And he's going to try and go for the win. Try and end it tomorrow. That's what I think he's going to do. Especially from the start. I think if we go punch for punch tomorrow and then last 20 minutes, 15 minutes is level, I don't think he throws risk at it. But I think from the start, I think he's going to try and win it tomorrow. And I think that could play into our hands in terms of the space
I kind of think the opposite. I think that they're going to try and stifle us from the beginning, and I think that they'll come with a game plan. And if we do get an early goal, obviously that throws that game plan out the window, but then he'll revert to maybe what he has been doing the last couple of weeks and going for it. But I think that potentially he will come and try and stifle us, play 5 at the back from the off, and really try and frustrate us, because he knows that if they get a draw, it's more or less done, minimum.
I don't think he does that. I think he's a bit arrogant. I
hope you're right, man. I also think he's arrogant. I do think he's arrogant, but I also think that he'll know what's kind of best for Arsenal coming into this game, and he knows that a win or a draw especially, like, just pretty much steals it.
I know, but they have a way of playing. They don't look. I know they went 5 at the back against Chelsea, but it was a bit of a hybrid 5 at the back, like 4 at the back in certain situations. And they ended up very much going more 4 at the back than 5 at the back, and it worked for them in the end. I think most of the time he's gone 4 at the back. I can't see him changing it just for this game. So I do think I think obviously they're going to have a plan to defend against us. I'm not saying they're just going to go gung ho, but I do think he's going to try and win tomorrow. I believe him when he says he is going to try and win tomorrow, and I think he believes that they're the better team, and we have to make sure that we prove him wrong tomorrow. That's all. That's the main thing.
Wrong, man. Let's prove him wrong, man. Let's look at the form of the two sides coming into the game. Obviously, Arsenal, on the looks of things, in terms of on paper, are in very good form. 4 wins in their last 5 games, 4 wins on the bounce, scoring 11 goals in their last 5 and conceding 6 in their last 5. I mean, they've actually outscored us in the last 5 games. Their away form, they have lost 2 out of their last 5 away games, where at home we've won 4 out of our last 5 home games. So when you're reading into those stats, is there really anything? I mean, can you read too much into form coming into this game?
I think form, as much as, look, we obviously didn't beat Brighton and Brentford, then we got a very good result against Liverpool and we beat Leicester. Arsenal have won their last 4 but haven't looked entirely convincing in all those games. They've been given a helping hand in a lot of them, which have given them victories. And they, against Man United, very lucky to win that game. They shouldn't have won that, really. I wouldn't say they were lucky to beat Chelsea and Leeds, but what I would say is the way they got their goals was lucky. I wouldn't say like during the game they were much worse than the opposition. Unlike against United, I did feel like they were worse than the opposition. I think against Chelsea they were pretty much. Both teams were as good as each other. I just felt Arsenal got a lucky goal.
I think Arsenal probably were the better team that day, but the way they got their goals just wound me up. You know what I mean?
And then against Leeds, same thing. They were the better team, but they were hanging on in the end against 10 men.
That's what I'm saying. Like, against 10 men, and he got sent off early, didn't he?
Very early.
And like you expected Arsenal to just completely put that game to bed. And fair enough, they went 2-0 up. but they
They were
nearly...
tuning up before 10 men,
True.
and then when they go down to 10 men, you're thinking this is going to be
Yeah, and you're expecting them to just completely wrap it up. And all of a sudden, they're the ones under pressure in the last 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, and they could have conceded. So look, as much as Arsenal have won their last 4, they haven't been convincing. I don't look at those games and think, oh, they're going to be like unbelievable tomorrow night. I do think there's a team with flaws there.
Agreed.
I do think there's a team that can be got at, especially if you're aggressive against them. I feel like Chelsea, Man United. I feel like Man United were quite aggressive against them, but I feel like Chelsea, West Ham, and Leeds didn't get in their faces, didn't make it as difficult as possible at all. I think they played into their hands a bit, and I think tomorrow with the players we have on the pitch, the one I'm looking at especially is Romero. I think he is going to make sure that Nketiah doesn't get anything tomorrow, and I want him to make sure Nketiah doesn't touch the ball, because Nketiah has been getting goals given to him recently, and we need to absolutely snuff that out. But with our aggression, I think we can stifle Arsenal. I really believe that. And then it's all about when Arsenal are settled in their low block, can we break them down? A lot of it is going to be the wide players. Now Emerson had a great game against Liverpool, and Session as well. Session more defensively, I would say, had a great game, although he did get an assist. But we're going to have to see a lot more quality from them when Arsenal are in a settled back line, if we're going to make sure we're hurting them tomorrow. Otherwise, in transition, we all know we're a massive threat. And I'm sure we will get our chances in transition tomorrow, and we've got to make sure we make the most of it. But when Arsenal, especially if we're level going to the latter stage of the game, if we are going to make sure we get the winner, we're going to have to show quality on the ball. And we have struggled at times when teams have a settled back line, and especially going out wide, we've struggled. But tomorrow is going to be a big test for them, because I don't think their wing backs are very offensive. In Cedric and Tomiyasu, they're not the most offensive. I think that's why they'll play, because I think they played that last game.
Yeah.
So I think
they played Tomiyasu on the left and Cedric on the right.
Yeah. And I think that's an indication I'll do it again. I think Tavares has made too many mistakes, so I don't think he's going to come into this one.
Shame.
It is a shame, but I think that's what he'll do. So I think we don't have to worry about them too much going forward, their wing backs, to be honest. So it's about us when we do have the ball. We have to make sure we're penning them back and make sure we're getting quality into the box for the likes of Kane and Kulusevski and Son, because that's going to be a massive element to whether we can win the game or not.
Yeah, let's look at the head-to-head between the two clubs, Spurs and Arsenal. Obviously, it's a bit of a rule for a while now that Spurs win the home game, Arsenal win the away game. Obviously, this is the home game. It's the first one in the stadium with a full capacity. Cast your mind back to last year. I think it was only 1,000 in the stadium, wasn't it, when we did play them?
Yeah.
So, I mean, this plays into our hands a little bit, but can you read again too much into these kind of stats? That we're much better at home and they're much better at home.
I don't think you can read much into. I don't think you can read too much into it. I think that's an indication of the derby at the moment. The home advantage is big. I think that's been the case for a while now. I think
even back when Arsenal were winning titles and stuff, if every time they came to White Hart Lane, it was always a tough game for them.
they rarely won.
They usually a draw, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was usually a draw. Usually we draw at home and lose away.
That says a lot, doesn't it? Not just like the recent history where it's win-loss in terms of home and away, but even back then when they were much the better team, they rarely won.
And that shows the element of home advantage, how big it is. And I think tomorrow, especially the fact that it's the first, I can't believe it's the first North London derby in front of fans.
It's mad, isn't it?
And 3 years after we moved into the stadium. It's taken this
5
long.
years, the last time we played them in N17 with full fans.
Yeah, and we've got a very good record at home to Arsenal. Obviously, they got a good record at home to us as well. So, but you know, they haven't beaten us since 2014. In away, we haven't beaten them since 2011. So we both have very strong home records. But they're coming to us tomorrow. That's the most important thing. So I think you can read into it, and I think you can say the home record is massive, and hopefully we up our game tomorrow. In terms of look, we haven't last couple of games at home. We obviously played Leicester. We won 3-1. We lost to Brighton, but this is the big one. Arsenal have to make sure they're coming into a cauldron, and look, I think it's massive that we're at home, and I think that form shows it.
Absolutely. When you look at the Arsenal predicted lineup, this is the lineup we have picked for them. The injured players are Kieran Tierney, Thomas Partey, and today in the press conference he says Ben White and Bukayo Saka both with doubts. Do you reckon that's the case, or do you reckon it's just a bit of mind games here from Arteta? I mean, he has says that Saka and White have been doubt. Well, White's been out for the last couple of games, but Saka has been a doubt for the last couple of games, and he's played.
Yeah, and he's played. I don't think he's been at his best last couple of games either. So maybe he apparently he has been playing with an injury. So maybe there's some truth to that. For Ben White, I think that's absolutely true to doubt because he hasn't played last couple of games, and Rob Holding's come in and he's done all right. So I actually expect Holding to play tomorrow because I don't think there's a real reason for Arteta to rush White back and drop him, considering Holding's done well since he's come in. So I do expect Holding to play. In terms of Saka, I expect him to play. I think they're going to make sure he's on the pitch, whatever happens. I'm certain of that. He is so important to how Arsenal play. His ability to carry the ball down the line and take people on. Without him, they're not the same. I think he's massive to them. So I think there's no chance he doesn't play tomorrow.
And if you bring up the ones to watch graphic, so obviously Bukayo Saka is there. I mean, he probably is their best player at the moment with 11 goals and 8 assists. But another player we should talk about is Martin Odegaard, because he's had a brilliant season, as much as it pains me to say it. I mean, he's been a chance creation machine. It's just lucky for us or whoever is around them that they don't have the striker to finish them off as consistently as they probably would like. But the amount of chances he is creating this season has been unbelievable. I think most in the Premier League.
Yeah, and he's been I think the most in the Premier League since like November or something. I don't think it's since the start of the season. But I think he's been, especially second half of the season, I think he's been coming on so much. And I think he really has that number 10 role. Like he can do it in his sleep now. I think he does. I think he's done a fantastic job. His vision is fantastic. He does these little flicks which are really, really effective. In and around the penalty area, that's where he can hurt you, and he can pick out passes. And I think he still has a way to go to be truly elite. But I think at the moment he's in the category of like very good. Number 10, and you got to give him credit for that. And I think didn't start the season amazingly, but I think I thought his loan spell was very hot and cold last season, but I think he's really found his consistency second half of the season, and fair play to him. And he's creating loads of chances. I think he'll probably feel like those 4 assists, he'll want to get that numbers up to something like 10.
Yeah, he needs better strikers and better
definitely.
Attacking players around him. That's the point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see Arsenal upgrading on Saka or Martinelli anytime soon, but definitely the striker. Yeah. He definitely needs a better striker next to him. And I actually think he's the one, in a weird way, I'm most worried about tomorrow because of his position.
Yeah, and talking about, where you're most worried for Arsenal on the pitch, let's go and have a look at the tactics board, and let's look at where we think we can hurt them, where you think they can hurt us in the key areas of the pitch tomorrow.
Yeah, so this is how I envisage both sides lining up tomorrow. So as you can see, we've got 3 at the back, we've got 4 along the midfield, and then the 3 up top. I'm expecting them to go in a 4-2-3-1. However, I do as well, when they do go forward, Arsenal, a lot of the time when Arsenal do have possession, I can see them reverting into a kind of a back 3, moving Cedric forward, Saka a bit tucked in, and they're making a back 3 of White, Gabriel, and Tomiyasu when they're in possession, because Tomiyasu tends not to go forward too much, and then obviously they can create overloads, especially on the right hand side, which would worry me a bit. But considering how Sessegnon and Davis dealt with Salah, even if Saka does play, I am confident that they're going to be able to deal with that situation on the right-hand side.
Højbjerg will be coming there and helping out as well.
Yeah, Højbjerg, and obviously El Neni's not the most offensive midfielder, is he? So you don't have to worry about him too much on the ball. Xhaka, on the other hand, you don't want to give him too much space because he can really dictate play. The one area I am genuinely worried about is the one I was talking about before in Martin Odegaard, because this area here, I am a bit worried about that because obviously El Neni and Xhaka are going to be sitting. Odegaard's going to be looking for those pockets of spaces in and around the back 3. So obviously Nketiah is going to be making Nketiah is going to be making runs. to try and get in behind Dyer and Romero over here. So it's going to leave a lot of space for him to operate in. Obviously, Bentancur and Højbjerg are going to have to try and shield it, but they're also going to have Xhaka, El Neni to deal with, and also they're going to have these two wide players who are going to cut inside to deal with as well if Sessegnon or Emerson aren't getting the right side of him. Obviously, Romero or Davis are going to have to come out. So he's one I'm worried about getting space.
So how do we stop him?
Yeah, it's difficult. I think one of the centre-backs is going to have to deal with him. And I'm not sure how exactly... Because it's going to have to be one of the centre-backs or one of the centre-mids to deal with him. I would probably go with one of the centre-mids because I'm not as worried about Elneny and Xhaka as I am with Martinelli and Saka. So I would like to see Højbjerg, Bentancur taking turns in dropping inside and making sure he doesn't get the space, because he can be the danger man in that pocket space. But if they are clever, Arsenal, they could definitely manoeuvre situations to get Odegaard free, and that worries me a bit. Because if he does get space, he has the vision to pick someone out and be dangerous, and he'll also have a shot. He's got quite a decent shot on him as well. 6 goals this season. So I think in theory, it's probably going to have to be one of the centre mids, because I can't have the centre back step. Obviously, they're going to have to step up, but I can't have them stepping up too much, just in case you get the runs in behind here. And that's going to be too dangerous to leave. So that's a worry. That's a worry for me.
That's the 3 danger men they have: is Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard. I mean, Nketiah should be taken care of from probably Eric Dyer easily. To be honest. So you're going to have Romero on Martinelli. You're going to have Davis on Saka, with helping out from the wing backs as well. So I mean, if the wing backs do help out, does that not leave a situation where maybe one of the centre backs can step up?
If the wing backs are right here, if the wing backs are getting goal side and they're dealing with the wide players, then I think it's going to have to be the responsibility of one of the centre backs to step out, because then you've got good cover here with Emerson and Sessegnon. Right? Yeah, have to be Romero, making sure Odegaard doesn't get the joy, because he's the most proactive one. In terms of aerially, I'm pretty happy for Arsenal to get balls in the box. I'm happy for Cedric to have it. I think I'm happy for Tomiyasu to have it on the left as well, because I think any crosses in the box, I think we got the height to deal with them. I don't think they're the most aerially threatening side. So I think, especially, I'd back Romero, Dyer and Davis dealing with Nketiah all day long with crossing the box. It's about more getting Nketiah in behind. Also, Nketiah pressing, he's been pretty good, obviously, with his pressing. He's got a couple of goals recently through that. So you've got to be wary of that. When we go forward, obviously, they're going to be in a bit of a defensive shape. I envisage when we go forward, something like Xhaka to El Neni to drop really deep, and then maybe be like 2 8s like this.
Yeah. And
then drop into a 4-3-3. Obviously, we're going to have Sessegnon going forward. We're going to have Emerson going forward here. Going to have to step the centre backs up. And in terms of that, this is why we're going to need good quality out wide, because I do believe with these 3, Cedric and Tomiyasu are going to have to be drawn to Kulusevski and Son. I think that's going to have to be the case, because I don't think they can afford for Tomiyasu and Cedric to be dealing with Emerson and Sessegnon. The danger men are here in the centre. Yeah. So they're going to be very, very narrow, I'm assuming, when we get into the top, when we get into the 4. Obviously, they got, in theory, if the centre-backs aren't going forward as much, this is why it's so dangerous when the centre-backs do go forward, because the centre-mids are going to have to be dealing with Højbjerg and Bentancur, who are going to try and be getting on the ball in the centre. So it does leave space for Romero and obviously Davis to get forward. But this is why we need quality, because there will be plenty of times when Saka, and especially Martinelli, who I don't believe is that good at tracking back, there's going to be times where there's going to be plenty of space for Emerson to operate in, because they're going to be very narrow. And that's where we need the quality from them to get in the box, because we have someone in Kane who, as on the flip side to last week, when I said he's going to struggle against Van Dijk and Matip and Konate because of their physicality, I actually believe, especially against Ben White, he has the physical beating of him. I think he can easily win headers against him. I think physically he's more than a match for Ben White and Gabriel. He's definitely going to be a lot more competent. So I envisage a situation where Kane gets a lot more opportunities tomorrow to be able to hold the ball up, bring other players into play, and especially if we do get quality in, he's going to be able to win headers. So that's why I think Kane, for me, is going to be central to everything tomorrow. I think even more central to Son tomorrow.
Yeah. You could be completely right there. But are you worried at all about the midfield? Obviously, with us having Bentancur and Højbjerg in there, and them having a three of Xhaka, Elneny, and Odegaard.
Yeah, and I am a bit worried about that. I do think physically, I think there's big possibilities for them to be physically dominant, because I think Højbjerg and Bentancur are very, very strong centre mids, and I think they would be licking their lips at coming up against Xhaka and Elneny. But there is obviously possibilities of Arsenal creating triangles and playing it around them. That could be a bit of a worry. That's where we need another centre back to step in and make sure that we're not getting completely outnumbered, especially off the ball. So they're not getting all these spaces. I do think Højbjerg and Bentancur can cover a lot of ground. Elneny and Xhaka, as much as Xhaka's pretty decent on the ball, he's not like a player who is going to be beating 2 or 3 players. You know what I mean? He needs time and space, Xhaka, and if you deny him that, he can struggle. Elneny, I'm not too worried about on the ball.
Who is?
And he's someone who you close down. The one I am worried about, obviously, is Martin Odegaard. If you can't give him too much time and space, but as long as we're restricting Odegaard and Xhaka, I think we might be okay in terms of their midfield on the ball. Off the ball, they could potentially have an extra man in there, but as long as we're switching play out wide quickly, we should be able to bypass it, because I do think there's going to be space for Sessegnon and Emerson out wide.
How important for you is the early goal tomorrow, the first goal? Well, not early goal, but the first goal.
First goal, I think, is crucial. Really, really crucial tomorrow, because Arsenal, under Arteta, have only won 1 game when going behind.
That's a mad stat, that.
Only one game, and that was Wolves only a few weeks ago, and they only won that in the last minute. You know what I mean? They got quite lucky to win that one as well with an own goal. So I think that's still true. That was true up until that game. I don't think they've won from behind since then. I can't think of the last 4 they went ahead, and all of them, haven't they? I can't think of a situation where they've gone behind and won. So they struggle badly when conceding the first goal. I think they also, as much as we struggle against back fours when teams are sitting deep, I think they do as well. And I think if we do take the lead and we defend like we did against Liverpool, as much as Liverpool got that bit of luck, will Arsenal get it? I think Liverpool obviously 5 times more dangerous than Arsenal on the ball. That's the thing. Arsenal thrive when there's a bit more, when teams are matching them as well, and are going and they can play quick one-touch play in and around the penalty area and find spaces. I think when teams sit deep, they can also struggle as much as, maybe not as much as we can, but also can struggle in their own right. They also not as good. They're not that as good as they are when there's space for them. So I think if we score the first goal, we've shown how dynamite we can be when we score the first goal.
Absolutely.
Under Conte, we've shown it time and again on the breakaway, on when teams have to come at us and we force them into situations they don't want to be in. So I think the first goal is so crucial. On the flip side, if they score the first goal and they know that a draw is good enough for them, then it's going to become increasingly difficult for us, and they'll grow, and their confidence will grow if they end up in the lead. And I think not only that, it's the fact that in the last 4 games they've seen out results. So that momentum, with them being able to hold on to leads, will definitely help them carry it through. We just
can't let them take the lead.
Yeah.
We just can't let them take the lead. We have to be the ones in the ascendancy from the start. We need to start at 100 miles an hour. And I want to see us get a really early goal tomorrow. I really do. Because if we do get that really early goal, that pretty much throws their game plan out the window. They're going to need to rethink things. They're going to need to come at us. And that's where we can be at our most dangerous.
Definitely. It's going to be interesting with Kulusevski up against Tomiyasu as well, because obviously Tomiyasu is a naturally right-footed player.
He's both-footed, isn't he?
He's more. I mean, he's both-footed like Son's both-footed, but he's more right-footed. He's a right-footed player. So it's going to be interesting to see how Kulusevski deals with that, because in theory it means he's going to be more suited to dealing with him. If Kulusevski's cutting inside, that's cutting inside on Tomiyasu's stronger foot. So Kulusevski's gonna have to be clever to be making sure he's making Tomiyasu think a lot on that side. Obviously, Son with his runs in behind is always going to be a danger. But I actually think Kane is our biggest threat tomorrow. I think he's the main man. We need him to be on top of his game. If he is, I think Arsenal are going to struggle badly to deal with him.
Yeah, and last 3 games he hasn't really been at the top of his game, and we need to get him back at it tomorrow. He's going to be imperative. I completely agree with you. Look, massive game tomorrow. I can't wait to get there. I can't wait to come back with absolutely no voice. What is your score prediction?
I am going 3-1 to Spurs. I think we're going to be on top of them. I'm confident we're going to be the better team tomorrow. And we're going to take the game to them. We know what we have to do. The atmosphere is going to be electric. We're going to have to. I think Arsenal, we're going to ruffle their feathers tomorrow. And with Son and Kane, we just have players that at any point can make the difference. So I believe they will turn it on tomorrow. I'm confident of that. I believe we're going to get a goal early. And I think we're gonna make sure we pick them off as they come forward. So I do think they might get a goal from somewhere, but it won't be enough. So I'm going 3-1.
Yeah, I'm going 3-1 as well. I think we just have to get a win tomorrow. There's no two ways about it. We just have to win or it's over. So Conte would have drilled that into the players. The fans are going to be in full voice, and I'm just not accepting my mind to go anywhere but a Spurs victory tomorrow. So I'm going 3-1. I think Harry Kane's going to get a couple, and Heung-min Son's going to get a goal as well. And obviously both of them love scoring against Arsenal and always perform when it is at the Tottenham Hotspur or at home, should I say. So I'm fairly confident of a win tomorrow, and let's just hope that we can put them to the sword quite early, and then I think we can get quite a few goals tomorrow if we do score early. So we're both going 3-1 tomorrow. Let me know your score predictions in the comment section below. Just before we end the preview, I want to talk about BetMate, a fantasy league betting app, which is really, really fun to play. We've been playing over the last couple of weeks. It's basically you pick a team for a singular game. So obviously this one is going to be for the North London derby. You can pick a maximum of 6 players from each side. And it's a 7-a-side team. So let's go and have a look at our teams. But just before we do, the league this week is £350 is up for grabs. The entry is £5. But if you haven't signed up for the app yet and you sign up with our codes, with our usernames, you can get free £5 and have free entry with a chance to win up to £350. That's going to be the total pot for the game. So the link is in the description below, and our usernames are also in the description below as well if you want to join. Let's go and have a look at our teams. We'll start off with my team. I think it is here.
That's my team.
Sim, go on. You start with your team.
I think, my team here, the scoring system is a bit different to the true FPL, because you do get points for tackles, interceptions. Goalkeeper gets 1 point for every single save he makes, and obviously goals and assists are always going to be pointed. And you get double points for your captain and 1.5 points for your vice captain. So my team is Lloris. I've got Romero and Tomiyasu in the back 2. I've got Bentancur and Kulusevski in midfield, and then you have to have Son and Kane up front. And I've captain Kane. I'm thinking he's going to be the main man tomorrow. I think he's going to be on top of his game. He's got a great record on North London derby. In terms of Romero, just makes so many tackles, and I expect him to make sure that Nketiah doesn't get any joy. Tomiyasu, I'm expecting a busy game for him tomorrow, and I'm expecting him to be making a lot of defensive action. So I've got him in midfield. I think Bentancur is going to be over Xhaka and El Neni like a rash. I've got him in. Kulusevski speaks for himself. He's a hard-working winger, and he also got a chance making goals and assists. And then Son and Kane, they speak for himself. So that's my 7.
All right, that's a pretty good team, to be fair. Mine isn't too dissimilar, to be honest. If you bring up my team, I've got Hugo Lloris in goal. I think, he's more likely to make the clean sheet and potentially more likely to make more saves on the day as well. Well, maybe Ramsdale could make a few saves, but I think Lloris is probably more likely to keep that clean sheet. I've gone for Sessegnon in the team as well. I think Sessegnon, he got an assist at Anfield. He's looking good at the moment. I think he can get forward a lot. He's been making a lot of tackles and interceptions as well, which he gets points for. I got Romero alongside him, which my brother covered quite perfectly how he just makes a lot of tackles and interceptions, very aggressive player, and always seems to get a lot of points on this game. In the midfield, I've gone for Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. As contrary to the actual FPL, where Højbjerg doesn't get many points, he actually gets quite a few points on this one because he makes a lot of tackles and interceptions. He's literally made 7 points in each of his last 5 games, which is a fair amount. So we've gone for Højbjerg in the middle. Next to him, I've gone for Bukayo Saka because I think he's Arsenal's danger man. And if they're going to get a goal, it could come through him, or he could be the one scoring it. And then up front, I've gone obviously Kane and Son. Do I need to say more? With Kane as my vice captain, which gets times 1.5 points, and Son as my captain, which gets double points. So I've got Leno. I don't know why Leno, but Leno, Cedric, Odegaard, and Nketiah on the bench. So that is our teams. If you want to take us on this week or tomorrow, the link is in the description below to go and join. And if you want that free £5, do join with the promo code with either one of our usernames. And so whoever you like better, put their name in, because one of us will get a free £5 from that as well. So thank you everyone for watching the match preview. Come and join us on BetMate for the big game tomorrow. And like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs. But let's move on to, well, before we do, actually, I've got a super chat here from Cody Mack, member for 15 months. Big up, Cody. And he says, give Arsenal some credit. I'll stop you there, Cody Mack. I will not give Arsenal some credit. And he says, give Arsenal some credit. They have been very good speed, ran quite fast from the challenge in January. Make them pay the price. Romero man the match incoming. Come on, you Spurs. And yeah, you're right. They did run quite fast from the match in January. And let's see how far they run this time. Because many of their fans will be running the gauntlet and risking their lives on that dreaded Seven Sisters to White Hart Lane walk.
You take your life in your hands, Robbie said, when you go to Tottenham.
But anyway, let's bring on our first guest of the day, and that is Matt Hayes. Big up, Matt. How you doing, buddy?
I'm all good, gents. How are you this afternoon?
Yeah, all good, all good. How are your nerves coping?
Not great. Not great at all. Look, I think it's a game that we will probably win, but like I said to you beforehand, the fear that Arsenal could come to our ground and a victory will get them Champions League ahead of us.
Get that out of your head, Matt. Get that out of
No,
your
I
head.
can't. Ben, I'm a Spurs fan. I can't. I've been trying to get it out of my head. It's. I think the most unlikely result, obviously, is that Arsenal get the win. But look, it's a terrifying prospect for Tottenham fans and for Arsenal fans, to be honest, with Champions League on the line. And it's exactly what Sky wanted. It's exactly what the Premier League wanted, this big game towards the end of the season. It's one that I think can turn into a Premier League classic, because if you look at the last couple of years, even go back the last decade or more in this fixture, there's always been one team out of form. Like earlier in this season, we were absolutely shocking. To be honest, under Nuno, we had... last season, the last couple of seasons, I suppose we've just been better than Arsenal. We've been finishing above them, but this season, for the first time, it's two of us playing very, very good football, both getting results and both with so much on the line. So I think it can be a Premier League classic, but that doesn't necessarily bode well for my heart rate during the game.
Definitely not. Matt, obviously, a draw is likely going to be good enough for Arsenal tomorrow as a result in terms of getting Champions League football. So how do you expect them to approach the game? Do you think they'll go for the win, or do you expect them to, from the off, try and frustrate Tottenham?
Look, I think it's a tough one to call. I think you both covered it well there in the preview, but I think I'd be leaning a bit more to the side of Arteta's arrogance maybe getting the better of him. And I kind of expected this in the games against Man United and Chelsea off the back of the 3 defeats they had last month or the month before, where they were going into these games and Arteta wanted to prove a point. I think especially in that game against Chelsea, which in the end he proved very well with the victory, but I feel like he thinks that team is better than it is. And look, they're having a fantastic season, Arsenal. There's no denying that. They're better than they've been in recent years, but for the personnel in that squad, they shouldn't be in the position that they are. And in future seasons, I don't think they will be. So I think if he does come and play attacking football and try and bring the game to Spurs, we're going to catch him on the counter-attack. And that is the perfect scenario for us. But in the same way, I also think he's aware of that. And I think he knows how much we struggle to break down teams in a low block. And I kind of hoped bringing in Kulusevski in January that he could be the player that could help us unlock teams like that. But it didn't really prove to be the case, especially that game against Burnley at Turf Moor back in February that Conte alluded to in his press conference as well. So I personally think it won't be a park the bus. It won't be all-out attack for Arteta. But I think it could be maybe a similar situation to the way we approach that Liverpool game, in the case that it's defence first and staying resilient and staying solid and making sure they don't concede any stupid goals. But when they go forward, I think they will commit numbers forward. And if we do commit centre-backs, wing-backs forward a lot more, there is a lot of pace and a lot of attacking quality in that counter-attack for Arsenal, even without Bukayo Saka, where they could catch us on the break. But I'm going to go with, if any team is more dangerous on the counter-attack, it's going to be us, because I think Arsenal will, like I said, try and take those chances when they do present themselves.
And, you know, with the Arsenal team being quite a young team, quite a new team, how do you think the kind of atmosphere inside the stadium and the aggressive nature from the Spurs players like Romero, Højbjerg could really affect this Arsenal team? Massively.
It could make or break this game. I love this club getting in that tifo in the south stand. I know people have been asking for the song before the game to perhaps be changed, which I don't think it will be. I think that'll be played before the game. But if we have the fans in the ground early, like you were mentioning, whistling and booing every Arsenal player when they're in possession, with Romero, Bentancur, Højbjerg flying into challenges, I think it could be a very, very daunting game for the likes of Smith Rowe or Odegaard or Martinelli, Saka and Nketiah. And kind of on paper, those are the players that we're kind of most worried about in this game. So I think there is a very structured way in which we can take them out of the game or make it much more difficult for them. But I think that's more down to the fans than it is to the players. I think there is a potential for the players to maybe take it a little bit too far. And if Romero got sent off tomorrow, I don't think any of us will be surprised. I'm not expecting it, but flying into those challenges, if it does start to get a little bit nasty, if maybe Arsenal have a goal advantage and Spurs get a bit frustrated, there is a potential for that to happen. I would trust Conte to kind of calm things down so they didn't boil over. But yeah, I think making it difficult for those players will be huge for us. And it's not really a position Arsenal have been put in before. Those players, they haven't faced that, especially in the Premier League. They go and they play well for 30 minutes at the Etihad and they're praised in the media for 3 weeks, despite the fact they lose the game. So it'll be a different environment for them, and one that I think could definitely swing the game in our favour.
Arteta saying before the game that Bukayo Saka is a doubt coming into it. First, would you think that's just mind games? And if he is out, how big of a loss for you is that for Arsenal?
I don't believe that at all. I think it's just an easy line for him to throw out there that will maybe put a bit more confidence in that Spurs team and maybe change the way Spurs are planning for this game, because Saka not in that team, Arsenal have to play, I think, a very different way. He is that main man in that attack for sure. If he is missing, it's a massive loss for them. It really is a massive loss, and it's one that will give us a lot more confidence. But in the same way, that could make them sit back a little bit deeper, which in turn makes the game more difficult for us. So I think there is pros and cons on both sides for him being out, but it's too easy a line for Arteta to throw out there that would have such a big impact that I think it could be the mind games. It could be him trying to get in Conte's head. So I take that with a very big pinch of salt.
Definitely. All right. So what's your prediction, Matt? How do you think the game's going to play out?
God. I have to back Spurs. I have to back that we're going to win it. And to be honest, I genuinely do think we're going to win it. Like you were talking about, the record that we have at home to Arsenal is absolutely brilliant. We beat them the majority of the time, and form, like I said, does go out the window in this. But I think Arsenal will show up, and I think they will play well. And again, they obviously know what's on the line. So I think they will get a goal, but I think with the quality of Kane and Son and with Kulusevski. And one thing that I'm kind of interested in, having watched the kind of tactical stuff you were talking about there with Cedric on the right-hand side pushing on more, and then Tomiyasu maybe tucking into to a back three. I'm kind of thinking that's really similar to the way Man City played against us at the Spurs Stadium when we beat them 2-0 there last year, and Son was put out on the right-hand side to kind of take advantage of that space that was left by Cancelo when I think he stepped into midfield and Walker came into centre-back. So that space out on the right-hand side, swapping Son and Kulusevski. Kulusevski's also a bit more defensive, so he can kind of help deal with that numerical overload. I think if we go like that and then catching Arsenal out with this switch to get Son in behind, we could be in a lot more luck. But I'm going to go, I'll go a bit more conservative than you guys, and I'd say 2-1 win for Spurs. We have Kane and Son, 1 goal and 1 assist each.
All right,
brilliant, Matty. Looking forward to speaking to you after the game and hopefully after a big Spurs win. But finally, if we do win this game, what do you reckon the chances are of us getting top 4?
We need Newcastle to get a result against Arsenal on Sunday or on Monday. I think that's the only chance we have of catching them. Obviously, we need to get the win to put us in that position to pounce on that anyway. But I think Everton will be safe by the time the last game of the season comes around. So I think they'll be on the beach, and it could be an easy win for Arsenal last day of the season at home as well after the brilliant season they've had. But St James's Park next week is huge for us. It's Newcastle's last game at home. They're in party atmosphere, party mode, which could play into Arsenal's hands. But if the fans are up for it, if they're behind that team, and if they go for the juggler, I think we all saw those Kieran Trippier quotes where he said he wants to help Tottenham get top four. So I think that game next Monday is just as important as us getting the win on Thursday. I think it's still mathematically, obviously, it's still in Arsenal's hands, but I think we need more than just win on Thursday to get the job done.
All right, big up, Matt. Thanks for coming on, mate, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks for having me. Talk to you soon, guys.
Nice one, Matt. So we not only are we Spurs tomorrow, are we Watford today, making sure they beat Everton.
Yeah,
we'll go to the final
most
day.
likely, and whoever Chelsea are playing today as well, Leeds. If Leeds can get a result tonight against Chelsea and we beat Arsenal, there's only 2 points in it.
And if Leeds as well, they'll catch up on Everton. They'll keep pace of Everton. So
true.
We're definitely Leeds fans, and definitely maybe Watford fans as well.
Definitely Watford fans. Come on. Super chat here from DJ Samuel, member for 6 months, says, keep up the amazing hard work you do. Come on, you Spurs. Thank you very much, DJ. Let's go on to our next guest, and that is Renugen. Renugen, you come on a Spurs Arsenal stream in a red top. What's going on? I think you're on mute.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but I'm sure I'll be wearing white after the game.
After the game?
After the game or before the game. Yeah, but Northampton is white anyway, so...
Yeah, 100%. 100%. How are you feeling coming into the game? How are your nerves?
It's such a big game, man. It's such a big game. I just can't wait to see that game. I think Sand is still 24, right? 24. Like, it's going to be... If I'm not wrong, it's 30... hours left for the game start from kickoff. Like, I'm so excited for the game, man. Seriously.
What do you expect to happen tomorrow?
I expect it to be a very close game. I think Arsenal, they will come to us in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium or in White Hart Lane. I think people saying that they go if they win, they will still top four. But I think that 1 point, even if we draw that game, I think top four is over. I think if we draw means top four is over. I think Arsenal will come here. I think they will play forward at the back. Still, they will play forward at the back, but they will be very defensive. They will be very defensive. They will avoid to lose the game. They will come to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. If not to win, they will at least play for the draw. So what I expect them to do is they're going to sit back. They're going to hit us on the counter. And give us the ball, and we should be more creative during the attack. That's what I'm thinking about coming to this game. Arsenal.
So you expect Arsenal to come to frustrate Tottenham tomorrow?
Yeah.
And how do we go? And we have had a bit of difficulty, haven't we, when teams try and frustrate us? So what do we have to do differently to make sure that it doesn't happen again tomorrow?
I think we need to massively improve the wing back seriously, because the wing backs are going to be so important in this game. Because whenever Arsenal defend, they're defending in the center. So our attack, Kane, Son, Kulusevski, they are through the center. They through the center from the true passing from the long ball off the top. They are very excellent. They can finish chances when they given the space. So what we're going to do is we are going to push Son and Kulusevski into like a classic number 10 role, and then give space to Emerson Royal and Sessegnon to attack and put crosses in. And if people say that Arsenal can deal with crosses, Arsenal have Gabriel and White are good in heading and aerial duels. I think that if we give more pressure and pressurize them, putting crosses after crosses, making them think how to deal with it, I think the pressure would be so high that they can't deal with it. And if we able to make such situation, I think we can score a goal, at least from that. And I expect wingback to score a goal Thursday night.
Yeah, me too. Oh, which wing back?
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be Sessegnon. I think that it will be a similar situation. He will be on the left, and someone will be on the box free. But I think he will take a shot and it will be a goal.
Arsenal
It will be
haven't
a wonderful strike. We will remember that goal forever.
I hope you're right. Arsenal haven't beaten us at our ground since 2014.
Yeah, it will continue.
Sorry?
It will definitely continue, that
And-
winless run.
Yeah, and we have a great record at home against them. So how important do you think is home advantage tomorrow, considering it's our first North London derby in front of a capacity crowd? How important is that factor going to be for tomorrow, do you think?
I think tomorrow's atmosphere is going to be very unforgettable for Spurs fans. Tomorrow, Thursday night, I think the fans are going to be the 12th man. Even though in the pitch we're playing 11 men, I think we are going to be the 12th man in the pitch. And ultimately, with the fans on the ground, with Conte pumping them up, firing them up, and the fans, the players, and even the players and the manager know how this means to the fans. So definitely, I believe in the players, and I think they will give us a performance that we won't forget forever.
So what's your prediction then?
My prediction, I think we're going to get a clean sheet. I don't think Arsenal will score. If we're able to score first, I think their heads will drop and they'll capitulate. The first goal will be very important. As long as the game goes in 0-0 until 78th minute, I'll be quite worried. But
So
I think that I expect the game to be very compact the first half an hour, first 45 minutes, 0-0, and then after that we will run right. I think I'm going for 2-0.
2-0. All right.
Don't be surprised if it's gone 4-0, 5-0 or something.
Don't be surprised. All right, I hope you're right. Well, thanks for coming on, mate. Cheers for calling in, and let's hope for a big result tomorrow.
Yeah, come on, Isabel. I hate Arsenal.
Damn right.
So do we. Love that passion. Let's keep going. I actually got a super chat here from Josh, member for 12 months, saying, I don't think Arsenal have the personnel to sit back. What do you say to that?
I think they do have the personnel to. I think they've proved it over the past few weeks that when they do sit back and try and frustrate the opposition, they're capable of doing it. They haven't done it for 90 minutes, but they've showed
done it against the quality of opposition that we have. Quality of players that we have.
No, although you could argue Chelsea, or they did it for the last half an hour.
Chelsea had a weaker team on that day.
Yes and no. They had a weaker team, but it was still a lot of it is as good as what we like. Not maybe not Kane and Son level, but a lot of it is like in our positions as good as what we have. So I would say, I would say actually Arsenal's best 11. You wouldn't want them sitting back, but in this 11 which is quite defensive, I think they can sit back.
All right, let's go to our next guest, and that is KPV. It's me, it's KPV.
Hello.
Hello,
going, mate? You all right?
Kyle.
Yeah, I'm good.
How you feeling? How are your nerves?
Buzzing. I'm buzzing for this. This is a game that means everything to the players and the fans and everyone else in North London. This is North London. We rule North London. They don't. They don't belong over here. They belong over there.
Exactly. Tell them to get to the other side of the river, mate.
Yeah. Go back to Woolwich because you don't belong in North London. You came to North London 1913 and you think you rule it. AFTV can shut their mouth. This is North London, not South London. Go back to where you belong. You're in our perch. You never belong here. Stay away or else there's going to be trouble. And tomorrow I'm looking forward to the game. I'll be in a pub with the fans, having a few beers, eating some pizza, screaming loud when we batter these lot because Ramsdale thinks they're going to get top 4 there. Well, think again, mate. You only beat us in September because of something else, but this time you're getting done. You're getting done over by Romero.
Damn right. How do you think the fans are going to be a big part tomorrow, Kyle?
Yeah, like they're going to be a part of this because, like you said, last season we played them at home. We only had 2,000 and we won 2-0. Kane and Son assist and got a goal each. Son just smacked it past Leno. Kane hit the crossbar, went in. Like, he's the all-time record goal scorer in this fixture. Son loves the goal against Arsenal. Kane is going to score at least one because Son wants that golden boot. So I think Son's going to score a hat-trick. If Son scores a hat-trick, then what are you guys going to do? Like, go celebrate louder with your friends or something?
If Son scores a hat trick, I'll be running up and down the stands with my top off. How about that?
Oh my god. Yeah, this game is brilliant. And yeah, like, we need a win because we will only be 1 point behind. Then going into the home game against Burnley, we'll go above them. Then, like, Trippier's going to beat Arsenal, let's be honest. We want them, but this game, this is Tottenham TV, not anything else TV. This is Tottenham TV. But fortunately, I have to say, but you know what Derby is tomorrow, boys?
What?
Well, who do you think is the what Derby? We're not allowed to mention this guy's name, are we?
No, we're not.
It's that Derby. Like,
No,
I haven't
it's
said
not.
it.
No, it's not that guy. He's not part of us anymore.
I know, but yeah, screw him anyway. Like, fuck him.
We'll call it the Pat Jennings derby.
Pat Jennings, has he played for both clubs?
He
Yeah.
did, yeah.
But yeah, like, I know some of the players who don't play for us anymore watching. Toby, I know, yeah, Toby Alderweireld is going to be watching. Like, this game, I want to win, man. I don't want to draw. Like, I don't want to draw.
We
Because-
have to win.
No,
We
a
have
draw-
to win.
A draw pretty
And-
much seals the fate in the top 4 race, to be honest.
No, thank you. Like, I don't want a draw, man. Because if the Filth get a draw and they get top 4, like, they're going to be pointing out up on the stands, like, oh, we got top 4 at your new stadium. Bugger off. Piss off. No thanks. You can't beat us. You haven't beaten us since 2014 when it was that Thomas Waziski strike. But then Kane burst onto the scene, got 2. But you've got to ask Matt Hayes, what is his favourite North London derby moment, boys? You've got to ask.
What's yours?
Well, come on. It's got to be that when Kane scored 2, burst onto the scene, ain't it? And that has to be my favourite. Like, that'll probably be my favourite one. But it's got to be that Bentley one in a 4-4 draw at the Emirates when Bentley scored that screamer and then Lennon equalised it. I know, Ben, you was there. You must have pushed the steward. Like, yeah, there's 2 at least. I think those 2 are my favourite. But tomorrow, Romero's going to get man of the match incoming. Conte's first North London derby. And a few debuts for the Kulizeski and Bentancur. Hopefully they can put on a good shift. Laurie, clean sheet, please, because I think, I don't know, what, 14 or 15 North London derbies? I lost count how many he's played in. But I want to win, boys. Who let the hounds out? Conte did. Conte did. And, yeah, so come on, tomorrow, let's get a win. Then hopefully they can moan all they like. And for Arteta, you're getting done over by Conte. Again, as always. Levy out. In Conte we trust. And I'm going for a 4-0 win.
4-0.
Absolutely love the confidence, Carl.
Big up, Kyle.
Absolutely
Lovely
love
to
it.
see you, mate.
Thanks for coming on today, mate, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, and hopefully I'll see you Friday after you've been, like, finished tomorrow. Like, I'll see you Friday.
Nice
All right,
one.
mate.
Looking
Yeah.
forward to it, mate.
Enjoy the game. Make sure you send us some scenes and some goals. And, yeah, I'll
There
hopefully
will be
see you
scenes,
Friday.
you bet.
Yeah, and before I go, the song I'd rather our fans sing is the Aussies going to Wembley one. I'd rather have that. Not that I can't smile about you. That's just annoying all of us. So, or I wouldn't mind the Star Wars theme because that's what we normally walk out to anyway. Star Wars. It's Super Star Wars. So I'd rather have Star Wars or Aussies going to Wembley. But forget, we can sing that at the end. I can't smile, but not before a game, please. Levy, sort this stuff out in the summer, mate, or else Brian's gonna destroy you. Big up everyone, and big up Grandpa, big up all. And as always, North London is white.
Big
Let's
up,
go.
Carl.
Come
Big
on.
up, Carl. We'll speak to you soon,
Not a
mate.
stone left unturned for Carl. Everything has to be mentioned. Absolutely love it.
Let's move on. Let's bring on Aravind. Aravind, how are you, buddy?
Good, doing well.
Yeah, your nerves are holding up well?
No. Arsenal. I can't take Arsenal. The fans, the C-Tech players, that useless manager, everyone. That whole squad is delusional. That manager is delusional, and they think they are the best. They can chase a lot of things. I can't take them. And tomorrow, I don't care. The only thing the players needs to go over there is have balls with them, and we need to win. Not win. We need to smash them.
Trash
That's
them, 100%.
trash, trash, smash. Put them, take them out of the stadium, and they should get depression after playing this match.
Absolutely, absolutely. With Arsenal coming into this game, obviously they know a draw more or less seals it. A win definitely seals it. How do you think they set up, and what do you think their game plan and approach will be tomorrow?
Their game plan, I think so. They need the win, so they're gonna come after us. So if they're gonna come after us,
But a draw will do for them, won't it?
yes, but it's the North London derby, and these players are not going to. Both the teams are not going to come over there and play for a draw. And I'm pretty sure Arsenal are not going to come there and think, okay, if they somehow get a draw, then yes, it suits them. But for sure, they're going to think about winning this match, 110%. They're not going to come there and sit over there. And Arteta as a manager will also know that if they're going to play if they're going to play that, it may be a risk in case if we score the first goal. And I'm pretty sure if we're scoring the first goal, a game is over. We are winning the match for sure, 110%. So yeah, I think so. They're going to come after us, at least for the first half, 20, 30 minutes. It's going to be very intense, and they're going to come after us. And in that span, if we can just grab the first goal, which I'm pretty sure we can do it seals the match. It's game over.
So his first goal wins tomorrow.
First goal, forget first goal wins. First goal takes us to 4 goals. It's game over.
Love it.
They're not coming. They're not coming tomorrow in this crowd of 63,000 fans. They're not going to come over there and score. Forget about scoring 1 goal. And I'm guaranteed telling you they're not going to even have a shot on target tomorrow. That's my prediction.
No
And
shots on target.
not one shot on target. Dyer will be pumped up 110%. Romero will be pumped up 110%. These are players who know what the NLD is. I don't give a shit about how they have performed in the last 3-4 months or what the performance is over there. But tomorrow, each and every player will be playing 20% better than what they play generally, and that's happened in the NLD, even in the worst seasons of us. And for sure, against these C-Tech players, these championship players, the championship manager, and who they have up top. They have Nketiah. You think Nketiah is anywhere near have the balls to score in the NLD? For sure not. Overhyping that useless player, man. Come on. Let's be sure. We have Harry Kane up top, and you have Nketiah. You have Gabriel and Ben White, who's not even close to. He's not even better than Eric Dyer for sure. And you have all these average players. At least before there used to be competition. There used to be Ozil and Sanchez, and now they have players who play for championship. And there's a player they're talking about Nketiah, who was scouted for Middlesbrough, and they're overhyping that player. Come on, Arsenal, bro. Arsenal is nowhere near us, and for sure they're not getting top 4. They can oh yes, they're gonna lose today, tomorrow, and we're gonna win against Burnley, and you'll see them lose the last 2 matches for sure. They couldn't even smash a Leeds United team that was 10 men down, and what are they going to talk about NLD? They're not going to score any goals.
I've never seen so much hate in your face, Aravind. I have to say, it's the first time.
No, it's too annoying. These fans who overhype this team, who's not even close to top 4. Yes, we have been underperforming for sure. If we have won against Brighton and Brentford for now, which our team, which was capable, they're nowhere near this top 4 race. We were so behind with the way Nuno set up, and we came back over here. And for sure we are going to win tomorrow. There's no doubts in it. I can
So
guarantee that.
So
Yeah.
for you to not make a difference, Arteta is talking about Saka being a doubt before the game. Do you
Let them
feel-
bring Saka. Let him bring Saka's brother. Let them bring Saka's second brother. I don't want any shit. You bring anyone up front, nothing is going to happen. Saka is going to be. He's going to see what is it. He scored 3. You scored 2 goals tomorrow, right? See tomorrow, Kane and Son, what they're going to be up tomorrow. You're coming to our stadium, mate. This is not Emirates. This is Tottenham Hotspur Stadium with 63,000 fans up behind you who are going to smash you guys, and it's a revenge for sure we're going to take. First half an hour, 3-0, finish this game, send these people back to reality.
We had a big debate yesterday on who's better player, Kulusevski or Bukayo Saka. What's your opinion?
Kulusevski for sure, 110%. He's come in January and has done much more than Saka. And this guy's been playing in the Premier League for what, past 3-4 years? For how many games? And you're comparing a player who's just adapted recently and has done more than the whole Arsenal squad. Who can even imagine? This squad, these players have scored more goals than Arsenal the whole season, and since what we've done in January. What they're talking about, Saka, Odegaard, and all that stuff. Come on, guys, come to the reality. See your players. They're not even good enough. And you guys think you can perform in the Champions League. You're going to lose to some Sheriff Tirsapol if they come in the Champions League. That's what's going to happen. Look at your squad. It's average. And they're talking about bringing Gabriel Jesus and all some second-string players. They brought in Haaland and they're taking Man City rejects into the team. This squad is just gone out of the sense. They're nowhere near. And for sure, they're not getting top 4. I can guarantee tell you. You can pin this. You can put it anywhere. We're going to destroy them on this thing. We put the pressure on Saturday, win against Burnley, and you'll see how they go downslide from there. And they give us the top 4, go back to reality, and then say, Arteta out, why did we get the contract? Arteta out, why did we get the contract? That's what is going to happen in the end of the season. Give him a 10-year contract. I don't give a shit.
Well, I think Conte just needs to get Aravind to do the team talk tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what someone mentioned in the comments. I think we need you in London to do the team talk tomorrow, Aravind.
Yeah, for sure. You guys gonna enjoy tomorrow. Just see just have a beer, just sit down, watch them get destroyed tomorrow. They're not gonna even have a shot on target. I can guarantee tell you.
What's the score going to be tomorrow?
4-0.
4-0.
It's for sure. 100%. 4-0.
All right, I might put some money on that, Aravind.
Yeah, 100%. I'm going to bet 4-0 for sure. These players are not going to get. They're not going to score 1 goal tomorrow, and I'm for sure. And these players, you better turn up tomorrow. 110%. All these players, each and every one needs to turn up tomorrow, and I'm for sure because these players know how much. The players which we have know how much they can give for NLD, and we have seen how the NLD is. And these players haven't won a game in our stadium since when? 2012 or 13? I don't know. It's been like dinosaur
2014, yeah,
or something, some 8-9 years. So no chance. And that squad is 100 times better than the squad they have right now, which is the championship squad. So then I know we're getting Nketiah. Come on, don't hype that guy, man, please. He's average. He's absolutely average, and the players they have is absolutely average. They've been performing better these matches because thanks to Chelsea and West Ham who are gifting them the goals. And that's not going to happen tomorrow. No one is going to gift you goals. Unless we give you a Christmas present or any present we want to donate you, then you're going to score a goal. Otherwise, there's no goals that's going to come from their patterns of play. It's not going to happen for sure.
Absolutely. Big up, Aravind. Absolutely
What a brilliant
brilliant
call.
And
Big up to you, Aravind.
I'm looking forward to speaking to you after the game and reviewing the big 4-0 win this weekend. Tomorrow.
Come on, Spurs. Let's smash them.
Come on.
All right. Love that.
Big up,
Absolutely love
Aravind.
that
What
from
a
Aravind.
call that was. There's a few super chats. One from the Hate Man saying, this super chat is for all the Spurs fans watching you guys. Let's attract positivity and give Asna the emotional damage they deserve. Come on, you Spurs.
They're going to get depression, Aravind said after tomorrow.
And Vijay Gonsalves says, what is the best pub to take your girl to around the stadium? I don't know. There's loads of good pubs around. Go to number 8, the Bricklayers, Bill Nicholson, wherever you want. There are plenty of good hub. Beehive as well. I was in last week. Plenty of good pubs around Tottenham. So just take them to any of them. They'll all be in big, full voice tomorrow. But let's bring on our next guest, and that is Jory. Jory, looking very sophisticated today. How are you doing?
He's
Hey
he
guys.
means business. He means business.
Well, I was going to ask you, Ben, what do you prefer, the Professor Jericho or the Russian gangster Jericho?
I think for
It's
today, I think the gangster will be better. Because seeing
all
as we're
right.
coming up against Arsenal tomorrow, I think we need that gangster vibe and to shut
All
them
right.
boys up.
Booners will get one tomorrow.
Exactly. Jory, how you feeling and how your nerves keeping up for tomorrow?
I'm feeling great. I have a kind of a day off. I'm not on set today, so that's always a good feeling. My nerves are, yeah, they are definitely higher than normal for sure. But then, I was listening to Arvin and he kind of kicked me on, and I thought, yeah, that he's right, because if you like, you can think about our worst case scenario, which Matt Hayes seems to be thinking a lot about, and probably many of us are. But you have to turn it around, and I can see a match where we're gonna see all of the whole Arsenal kind of wishful thinking, skating around trouble. We've all been waiting for the House of Cards to kind of collapse. They've been so lucky with many things in our view, from our point of view at least. And tomorrow they'll just come up against this group of men now that we have, that are gonna, if that's the group that went to Anfield, oh my God, these boys are gonna have a bad day tomorrow. And watching them, just getting that reality check is gonna be beautiful. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on now. Is like, if we can counter them, and if we can defend like we did in Liverpool, they're gonna have a shock, both the squad and the fans. So that's what I'm looking most forward to. If our best Tottenham team turns up tomorrow, Arsenal are in for a rude awakening. I'm sure of it.
And
Yeah.
how do you expect Arsenal to come into this game, considering they probably only need a point to make sure they get Champions League for next season? Do you think that'll be in their mind, or do you think they're going to just come and be confident and try and get the win?
Yeah, but why are people saying they need a point? I don't see it like that. I don't see that they get all 6 points from the other two games.
Or they'll just need one win after that, wouldn't they?
No, am I?
If it's a draw, they'll need one win, and that's it.
Yeah, if we win them tomorrow, and they drop any points, we're going in fourth.
Correct.
Am I
That's
right?
it. I'm saying tomorrow, if it's a draw.
Oh
then
yeah,
yeah.
Sorry, then it's like that. Yeah, but to be honest, normally I could definitely see a draw, but tomorrow I don't see it. I don't see we're not gonna settle for it. We're not gonna set up in that way. Well, there's nothing for us to be careful about.
I'm asking about how would you think Arsenal's approach is going to be? Do you think they're going to look to draw the game and frustrate us, or do you think they're going to come for the win?
No, they're not going to come for the win. I think they're going to sit as much as Arteta is ever going to sit. It's not really a real sit. It's not like what you would see with maybe West Ham or something like that, or certainly not a Burnley or anything like that. But they're going to try and sit. But even with that, we've seen that when especially if the wing backs are working, and even like, by the way, I have to, because I haven't called in since the Liverpool game, and we certainly did see a big improvement in Emerson in that game, didn't we?
Brilliant performance, yeah.
Yeah. So I do believe that both Sess and Emerson are gonna probably have their part to play here, and hopefully we'll see better crossing game. But I'm also, of course, if they sit really deep, then we can run into trouble. But then hopefully we have learned our lessons, and take a a note out of Liverpool's playbook, which is to shoot from outside, and just randomness can ensue, and you can get lucky, and that's what we've been doing way too little of, and not even if you get lucky, you will loosen up the wall, it'll get messy and you'll get some space somewhere, so but I don't think they can sit, because also they don't want to go in. I don't think they dare go into a second half 0-0 and be and have the potential of losing everything, on the 80th minute. So I think likely they will take periods in the first half where they'll try to get their goal, and that's where we need to exploit them, but also, I mean, I don't know if Saka, if that is true what they say with Saka, then they're big. I think they're in big trouble, but
Yeah, the thing is, Jory, with Saka, I mean, the last 3 games he's been a doubt for the game, and he's played every time, so
yeah,
I wouldn't read
exactly.
too much into it.
No, exactly, and like leave it to the Arsenal manager to lie and be dishonest. Not that we had some managers that do that as well, but but yeah, no, I'm not reading too much into it. But I think even if they were to try and play like Burnley, they're not the player. They're not. That's not the kind of squad they have, So they're never going to be as good as that, as Wolves, Burnley, whatever, So I think even if that's what we're meeting tomorrow, we'll break them down eventually. And once we do, it's then the party is on, because then they really need to go get something.
If we do win tomorrow, Jory, what do you rate our chances are for top 4?
So I think they're pretty good, to be honest, because and especially if we go and really, really, really give them a shock, I actually think we have quite good chance, because I do think both their games can be tricky games, especially if you look at, they avoiding a draw in both of those games, I think is going to be difficult for them, to be honest, So I mean, it is in their hands for sure. That's the reality of it. But I think that if we really give them a big battering, completely shatter their confidence, and also upset maybe what they believe to be their truths, whatever, be it Odegaard being a genius, or Saka being a genius, or whatever, and we just show them no, they're quite average, and they're quite early in their career, and yeah, then I think we can definitely hope for some luck with the last games, And to be honest, at this point, I'm settled with whatever it's going to be, 5th or 4th, because if the guys now play to the full ability tomorrow, then they've done their job, and of course the last 2 games as well, then they've done that job, and it is what it is. What's absolutely not allowed to happen is for them to secure it tomorrow. That's an absolute no-go, So and I like we're like we're maybe not mentality monsters yet, but we're getting there, and I certainly think that there's no way in their heads and hearts that they can allow anything like that to happen tomorrow. So and I have a hard time seeing how they wouldn't carry that intensity, that focus from the Liverpool game into this game. And I ask you guys, I mean, is there any game that you've seen Arsenal where they would be able to deal with the team that played in Anfield?
No, I mean, even the last 4 games when Arsenal have been winning, I haven't been impressed with them whatsoever. I really haven't. I mean, there have been a couple of games where maybe I've been a little bit impressed with them. I mean, that first half against Man City where they ultimately ended up losing the game, they had a good first half, or maybe half an hour of that first half. But for the most part, no, I think you're right on that one.
No, I mean, not that we should ever be giving them credit, but you know, they have, you know, they have an identity, they have a system, they play, you know, they play their game, and that game can definitely flow and be good in against a lot of opponents, you know. But you know, I don't think, you know, I don't think neither the players are mature enough to handle that kind of pressure, that kind of what killer, like we're starting to be the killer instinct team, you know, where we're so brutally clinical. I don't know if there's any team in world football that's as clinical as the team, for example, in Man City. And even we weren't like we missed that last chance, so that was maybe the letdown in terms of being clinical. And actually we had many chances with we weren't actually that clinical at Anfield, but we're clinical in the sense of when we get our opening. So even in Anfield, where we didn't finish our chances, when we get our opening, that evolves into a real super dangerous chance. And I don't know many teams that can do that from you know the way back players, and just you know, you blink and somebody's on goal now, alone with the goalkeeper, you know, and that's very unique. And I cannot see how that young squad is gonna have a chance against that, you know. So I just hope we get the first goal within 20 minutes, and if that happens, then it's gonna be a party.
100%. I cannot wait, Jory. I cannot wait. But what is your score prediction just before we let you go?
Yes, so Erwin and Kyle went for 4, so I'm not gonna be the lesser man, so I'm just gonna say 5. Whatever.
Come on, Jory.
We have fought with 5-1 against Arsenal, don't we?
Yeah, we do. 5-1 in the League Cup semi-final.
But this is what I'm hoping for as well. I mean, 4 would be a shock as well, but I'm hoping for absolute destruction.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah, of course we would love it, but I'm even as a tactical kind of a beyond the game thing. It's like if we can completely destroy them tomorrow, we will actually have had a big influence on the last 2 games, I think. So that's what I'm hoping for. That Conte will go for. So.
All right, big up, Jory. I saw you driving in the sand dunes yesterday on Instagram.
So you're going to be watching it tomorrow? You got the day off tomorrow as well?
Right, man. Say what?
You got the day off tomorrow as well, or just today?
No, I got Friday off, but I'll be wrapped by the time the game starts.
You better be.
Yeah, you better be. Big up, Jory. Good to chat to you as always, my friend, and we'll see you next time.
Take care. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on. Big up, Jory, as always. Is there anyone else waiting?
Oh, there was Josh. I saw.
All right. There is.
He's back. He's back.
He's back.
He's back in the back end.
All right,
bring him in
a second. We got a super chat from Bob Spur TV just as we're waiting for Josh, and he says, "Is anyone else suffering from nervous farts?" 4-1. Anyone else suffering from nervous farts in the comments?
Nice to know, Bobby.
Let's Bob know. Oh, he's gone again.
Oh, back and forth.
In, out, shake it all about.
Let's give him a sec. Arteta apparently has described this game as his most exciting game in charge.
His most exciting game in charge,
That's what he says. Sounds like he's going to want to win.
Is he back? No. All right, I think we're going to leave it there then. We'll be back with predicted lineup and potentially a Tottenham update as well later today. But tomorrow
and a combined 11.
Combined 11 coming as well today with Lee Judges and Bavs. Tomorrow, pre-match pump-up with David Harris, followed on by the live watch-along with a debutant with Becky and Josh King, and then followed on by the post-match fan show. Obviously, me and Sim will be in the stadium grabbing all the content and the atmosphere for you guys. Hopefully get that TIFO footage as well. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. Is anyone there? No.
Okay,
All right.
left again,
Well,
all right.
thank you everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.